What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And as you can see by the title of this one, we're going to be talking about procrastination and the three cures that I've found and I've utilized in my own life to get over the procrastination sickness, right? How to get shit done, how to get the things that you tell yourself you're going to do, getting it done in a timely manner, right? Not prioritizing other things, what have you. So, first, I want to talk about some of the different types of procrastination because some of you might be watching this video and hear the word procrastination thinking, well, I don't really procrastinate. Every now and then, maybe I catch myself being a little lazy, but I wouldn't say I'm a procrastinator. Well, I might challenge that opinion of yourself right now. And these four that I've kind of put into the realm of procrastination, I have been a victim of in one way or another. Number one is probably my biggest one, the info junkie analysis paralysis, right? This idea that you are not competent enough, you don't have the knowledge or the skills yet required to embark on this thing. You can't start the journey yet because you haven't packed for it accordingly. You need to get the mind right before we start actually taking the action. And the problem is if you're this type of procrastination form, it's a dopamine spike that you're actually doing something. A lot of things will be watching these self-improvement videos. If you watch my video, but you don't actually take some of the tangibles and tactics and action items into the real world, into your own life, you're falling into this category here. If you just watch, 10, 12, 15 self-improvement videos a day, you're watching podcasts, you're reading books, but the action isn't really aligned with all of the things that you keep filling your head with. Maybe your mindset is a bit more of a positive mind space, but the problem is that procrastination doesn't just go away even though you're consuming better content. It's good to consume better content, but by not taking the action, your brain will convince you, because it's more comfortable not to take the action, that you've already done it by learning the thing. So be careful of this one, the info junkie analysis paralysis, a big one I had in terms of starting this channel, in terms of doing a ton of other things in my life. It will constantly come up a lot of times whenever you're trying to do a new thing, right? And you keep putting it off because you tell yourself, I don't have the skills or everything I need necessary, right? The preparation. Let's move on to number two, Mr. Doolittle, right? Not to be confused with Dr. Doolittle. This is somebody who prioritizes the smaller, less significant tasks over the important ones. The not eating the frog in the beginning of the day, sort of an expression of not doing the most important thing first, getting it out of the way. Doing the thing you probably hate the most, but is of the highest importance, highest significance. If we want to go into Pareto's principle, right? The 20% that's going to yield 80% of the results. But this procrastinator focuses on the 80% that only garner 20% of the results. Some of it might be this info junkie stuff, right? Obviously, you should try to research and gain competence to some extent, but the action is eventually what is going to be taking you there. You understand what I'm saying? Mr. Doolittle will have a 6 hour morning routine before he gets to work. He's got to wake up, he's got to, do his grooming, he's got to make a breakfast, hit the gym, meditate, breathing exercises, stretch routine, watch a podcast, read 20 pages of his book, journal. Like, you're not getting to the meat and potatoes. You're focusing way too much on the sides and things that aren't actually moving the needle that much. Why don't you attack first thing in the morning the most important things, the thing you've been putting off? Dr. Doolittle again convinces himself he's not procrastinating because he's getting shit done, but you're not getting the most important tasks done. And a lack of prioritization is a big form of procrastination. The weakling, a little bit harsh. Didn't really know what to call this one, but essentially anybody that lacks ambition, drive, sort of discipline, and succumbs to instant gratification activities. Not even going to talk about this one too much. We all have been this weakling at one point or another. Sometimes we just have a long day, what have you, but you have to have the discipline. A lot of times, this weakling will maybe start things, doesn't have a problem taking the action initially, but will fall off the wagon very quickly. Goes to the gym consistently for 2 weeks and then stops. Starts working on the business for a couple days and then takes a 2 month hiatus. Right? Starts but never really finishes, never employs the consistency to actually garner some real results. And the last one is shiny object syndrome. If you have this shiny object syndrome, you'll know because you are constantly studying and looking at a new thing. You're studying drop shipping, and then you're studying crypto, and then you're studying how to trade options, and then you're studying and reading books about marketing in general, and then you're looking up how to start an agency, and then you're not focused and giving yourself the time to take a significant amount of action to achieve certain results, and you're not giving yourself time to actually become super competent in one thing. You know a little bit about a lot of stuff, but you don't know enough, and the info junkie might actually have some justification here. You're not giving yourself enough time to actually lock in and focus on one thing so that you can reach a baseline level of competency to take action that's sufficient, right? Action that's actually going to move the needle because you're so focused on jumping to the next thing and you get so impatient, right? There's a portion of the weakling in here too. The instant gratification comes through when the results aren't coming so quickly. And if they're not coming quickly, you jump to the conclusion, well, this isn't working. I'm in the wrong method. Oh, let's see what this thing over here is. That might work. Just to repeat that vicious cycle of doing nothing and not really learning a lot about any one particular topic. So look at these forms of procrastination, check out the ones that apply to you the most, and let's get into some of these cures. Cure one's obvious, take action. Just do it. Nike, not sponsored, obviously, but whatever you think you need to do, start doing it. Whatever it is, because I already know the thing you're thinking about, you have some ideas of what you should be doing. You should be posting the content. You should get a website going. You should start watching the right videos on that thing or whatever it is. You know what you need to do. You might not have this perfectly curated plan and all of these ideas and a bunch of mentors and mastermind groups or whatever it is that some of the top dogs at the game are in. But understand you're at the entry level of whatever arena you're trying to play in now. You need to just get experience because gaining experience is going to teach you two things. It's going to teach you what's true and false about your actions and knowledge that you already know. And then it's going to show you what you're good at and what you're bad at on pretty much a natural baseline view. And that second point comes really into perspective, I think, a lot more with business, where if you're trying to establish a business of any kind, there's going to be a couple different moving parts and various aspects of the business. You're naturally just going to be good at one, two, or a few of them. And the others you're not going to be so good at. Yes, you might have to do all of these things at once, which is why taking the action is so good. You can identify your weak points. And yeah, if you are the one who needs to do it, you don't have the money or you don't have the people in place to do those things for you, then you need to go back and learn about your weak points so that you can, again, achieve a baseline of competency to take some good action in those areas and at least complete the facets of the business or complete the facets of whatever characteristics or systems that you need to keep moving your goal forward. You understand what I'm saying? So this is really the cycle here. You learn through doing. You take the action. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Don't get discouraged. That's literally part of it here. That's the beautiful thing about taking the action when you're not ready or you feel that you don't know enough. Kill that info junkie analysis paralysis. Get that shit out of the way. You don't even know what you don't know yet. But you will if you take the action and actually get the experience because it's going to provide that feedback for you. And when the mistakes come after taking the action, you research solutions. Oh shit, this happened. Okay, so that's a problem. I'm struggling with that. Well, take to the internet, pick up some books on that certain thing, right? You're struggling with marketing, you look up marketing books. You're struggling with branding, then you buy a course on branding. Whatever it is, you research solutions, you obtain more information about that weak point, and then you go implement the solution, right? And once you get over that wall, boom, 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 you keep climbing the stairs, and eventually you're going to hit another obstacle. You're going to make another mistake, and guess what you do? You research another solution for that thing. And your competency is still increasing, but you're not in this analysis paralysis. You're still progressing. Cure number one, take the action, right? Number two, the why evaluation. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because this question is going to be your fallback a lot of the time. And a ton of people have said and mentioned this concept. A lot of successful people. One person that's coming to mind, David Goggins. I just read his Can't Hurt Me book for the first time very recently. Amazing book. And one of the things that he constantly fell back on in times of him struggling and all of these physical feats is, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Right? What am I trying to prove? What is this all for? What's the end game? What do I get out of this? Because right now this is shit. And let me stress a very important point here. Sort of a delicate balance, if you will. If the answer to that question is something to do with money, women, fame, status, some superficial layer like that, and nothing else, you don't really need it and you don't really want it. Let me say that again. If it's something superficial, money, status, whatever it is, and it's nothing else, you need to reevaluate. Not just the why, you need to reevaluate what you're actually doing. Your why is your fallback every time something goes wrong. Every time you hit these obstacles, every time you make a mistake, every time shit gets tough. And it's not just going to be one instant, right? There's going to be times where it's weeks, months, it could be years of having just bad breaks. But in order to bounce back up, you have to have an answer to this question, and it better hold the fuck up. It better not be some weak, delicate bullshit like, well, I want to make some more money. Fuck the money. We've been getting by without this thing working out. Fuck this. This is stupid. It's gonna shatter like that. The girls. Fuck the girls. I don't need the girls. The girls are distract. You have way too quick of excuses to just dismiss these things anyway. Fame. Oh well, fame's kind of a headache anyway. I'm telling you right now, they're superficial things for a reason, and they have no backbone. If that's your only why, you need to reevaluate. Understand, I'm not saying these superficial things can't be part of your why. It's not bad to want to start a business to make money. It's not bad to want to start approaching strangers to get more friends in your life. It's not bad to do and have any of these things as part of the results you desire. It's bad to only have that desire for those things. It's bad to only take the action to obtain the superficial. I challenge you to dig deeper when you ask this question. Yeah, okay, you want the money, but why? Why do you need the money? What does the money do for you? And the answers to those questions will create a stronger why that when those dip and those low points happen, you got a strong, solid response that's unshakable. It's not so fragile and fluky. No, there's a deep rooted thing of whatever it is. It's connected to your core values or the people in your life, legacy you want to leave behind, right? It's something deeper. Typically, it's either some act of unselfishness and like generosity, or something that's more permanent or everlasting. I'm not going to dive into a bunch of examples because there could be a whole slew of things and it depends on you, but just understand the why evaluation. If you don't have a strong why and you can't seem to answer this question and dig any deeper than money, fame, or girls, you should probably find a different thing to pursue. And that might be an unpopular opinion. That might sound like you're quitting. That might sound like you're giving up. It's just the facts. You don't actually want that thing if your why is simply one of these superficial answers. So either you need to dig deeper and strengthen that why and really get to the root of what that is so you can carry that understanding into your troubles that you're going to have in the future, or you need to be real with yourself and say, I'm doing this for the wrong reasons. And if you ignore it and you keep going and you say, well, it doesn't matter, I really want the money, blah, 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 it's very likely you're going to fail. I'm telling you right now, if that's your only reason and that nothing else comes from that. And the third cure is the checkpoint method. When you set these long-term, very lofty end game type goals of, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to travel to 100 plus countries, or I want to, whatever your goal that's pretty crazy, so crazy you probably don't even tell people, it can be super intimidating, right? And it's already intimidating enough to you that maybe you don't feel comfortable sharing it with people, your parents, friends of yours, really close friends of yours, siblings. You don't even share it with these people because it's so intimidating and it's almost hard for you to believe it. So if you don't believe it, it feels kind of embarrassing to share that with somebody. Understand that having a long-term lofty goal, you are of course very likely to have some self-doubt, not think that you're able to do it because the gap between where you are and where you want to go is so massive. And there's nothing wrong with that gap being so massive. It should be massive. It means you're ambitious. It means you want more in life. That's fine. It means you're driven. But you can't help but feel that in reality, there is this massive fucking gap. I want to be there and I can't even fucking see it. I can't see it. And again, when those times get tough and those obstacles come up, you get fucking frustrated and it deters you because you feel that you have so fucking far to go. And if it's this hard already and I don't even know where I'm going. I know where I want to go, but I don't see it. How much more of this is there? How much longer? Are we there yet? Are we even close? How long have we traveled? Is that far in comparison to how far we have to go? Right? That constant future pacing and visualization of the gap will throw you off. It's super demotivating. And it can trick you into thinking, well, you don't really want that thing. It can trick you into justifying giving up. Or it can even trick you into beating yourself up for not having that belief in yourself when such a totally natural emotion to have. It's a very justified doubt. You want to be there, but you're here. That's a long fucking gap to close. The solution is to break your big goals into these checkpoints, milestones, right? That eventually dot out and path out the journey and eventually will get you to there. But at least, even though you can't see the top of the mountain, you can see where your first stop is and your second stop. And once you get to the fifth stop, you can see six and seven. You know you're making the progress. You feel the progress being made. And you have to celebrate when you hit these checkpoints, right? Because breaking your goals into these smaller checkpoints allows you to just focus on the next checkpoint. So when you get to that, celebrate it, right? Reinforce that act in a positive manner because it'll help you understand that you're enjoying the journey. You'll get there eventually. Relax. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy just hitting the next goal and the next goal, taking the next step and the next step. Don't worry about the top. That's where we're going. And you can see it every time you hit a checkpoint. That, and it actually, instead of demotivating from before where we had this big gap, when you chunk it out to all of these smaller sections, these checkpoints, and you could see the checkpoint, and now you're hitting every single one, you're actually getting motivated as fuck. Intimidation is out the window. You're actually boosting a bunch of your own self-confidence and self-esteem because you can see yourself actually doing it. Celebrate that, because if you enjoy the journey, you'll see it through to the end. So choose one of these three cures, right? Whatever applies to you, whatever maybe resonates with you more from a not just emotional but practical standpoint, and go take some fucking action. Go do the shit that you keep telling yourself you're going to do and you keep putting on the back burner. Bring it to the forefront of your mind. Implement one of these strategies, one of these cures, and go fucking get it. If you like this content, leave me a like. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.